This is Ian again, CEO at Wheel for Wellness, and today I'm with Meredith, who I know is down in Bristol because we just had that conversation. But Meredith, hello, and a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. Hey, tell us a bit about yourself. So what are your interests? Where's your journey with wellness begin? These sort of things.
Um, that's a broad question. So my general interests, I'd say I love spending time with women, which makes my job even more enjoyable. But I love being around women that are prioritizing each other's well-being, looking after each other, and really being an open and honest about our experiences and what's going on in our lives. And I mean that in friendship and in professional relationships, because I've just found that that's the recipe for being able to thrive as a woman, is having a good sense of community and connection with your fellow women.
Naturally, it comes across very natural. Look, wonderful. Look, bit more about yourself then. You're in Bristol. Are you from Bristol, that part of the world?
Yeah, so I grew up in a little town just north of Bristol. I'm glad that my accent doesn't come out too much. But I am born and bred Bristol girl. Um, but yeah, I spent a lot of time in the south of the UK when I went to university. I stayed in Brighton for about 5 years, and then yeah, I moved over to Indonesia for a year. So I've done a bit of traveling, but I'd like to do a bit more.
Wouldn't we all, especially warm places? Okay, look, wonderful. So, in terms of your connection to the wellness world, you're talking about women and workshops. So, tell us what you do.
So I'm an intuition-led business owner and coach. And what I mean by that is I try to move away from conventional sort of business models that try to sort of squeeze profit and attempts to cut as many corners as possible, essentially. In my business, I am more about working with people that are purpose driven and have more interest in enjoying their life now rather than sacrificing and building something for when you retire. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty rough sum up of what I do. And I work with women one-to-one and in group coaching sessions, but I'm moving now towards hosting workshops, so that I can broaden my reach a little bit and reach to women that are not quite ready for coaching yet, but are still sort of invested in their sort of well-being and self-care.
Okay, this is really helpful and interesting. And I know Tash, one of the other co-founders of Real for Wellness, is going to be launching her own sort of wellness podcasts next year, where she'll sit down and spend like an hour with someone like yourself, where you really get inside the kind of the spirit and the essence and the naturalness of why. Because as you was talking about what you do with others,
Mm.
it kind of comes across that is simply an extension of how you are with yourself. Live life now, find purpose, find reason, explore. Don't put it off, don't procrastinate. This is life for living now. Would that be fair to say about you?
Yeah, I think many coaches practice the experiences that they've had personally. If they've been through trials and tribulations and they've overcome them, normally that's what they sort of do in their work, and that's exactly kind of what I do. I spent a lot of my life reaching for something that didn't exist, a perfect version of me, a high achieving version of me. And when I kind of got there, I realized it wasn't everything that I thought it was going to be. And found myself in the position that I realized so many women go through the same situation of outsourcing worth, and then yeah, just working themselves to the bone and realizing that doesn't bring them anything. So yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, no, wonderful. Are you working online and in person, or do you have a preference for one or the either?
My preference is in person. And the reason for that is because I find that it's a much more intimate space for co-regulation, and being able to really hold someone in what they're going through. But I do offer online coaching. But yeah, everything I'd like to do in future is going to be more in person, because I feel that the world has moved online, but actually what we really need is more in person connections.
Yeah, connection. That's the word, isn't it? And part of one of the things that was kind of driving the whole Wheel for Wellness thing actually was, yeah, loads of us are doing much of our practice online because it's there now, and it's people do want that. But let's not forget, there's real people as well. We want to be in rooms with people and have that experience with people as well. So glad you said that, and that comes across very clear as a message about your sort of what moves you really. So really interesting. Hey, look, we started something new with the providers like yourself, and it's asking for a wellness tip. Okay, so if somebody comes knocking on your door, you know, deal with some milk or a paper, and just before they go, they say, "Oh, look, by the way, have you got a wellness tip for me today?" What would you say?
This was hard to compress, I have to say. So my wellness tip would be, especially for high achieving women, to learn to make faster decisions using your intuition. And the way that you would do that is to practice bringing decision making through your intuition into every day. So before you make a decision, decide how it makes you feel. Each of the options, how does it make me feel? Not what do I think about it, how does it make me feel? And then go with the option that feels the best. And then the second thing that you can do is also integrate something called an intuition day, which is where you spend one day a month or a week. You clear the entire calendar and you just say, I'm just going to make decisions based on how I feel. So the mug that you choose for your coffee, you might decide that you want to put your feet on some grass. You might decide you want to call a friend. You don't make any plans at all, and you just commit it to how you feel in that moment. And it's been absolutely revolutionary for my business and my life.
Wonderful, thanks for that. And is it interesting that the word intuition in tuition has a learning element to it, in that the
Mm.
complex the body kind of knows, and I accept that and believe of that. There's things in us that know things about things, So this learning, the education is there in tuition. Anyway, Meredith, wonderful. People, please do come and find Meredith, make that connection. You know, Go and have an experience with her. Really, I think you'll find it to be valuable. So thanks for doing this today. Really appreciate it. And so we'll get you one for one of those Tash's podcasts next year. Yeah.
Love that.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so much.
much. See you soon.